Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our Global TV Deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Run, keep going on, less process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just a try and I as a watchman around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Day or night. We gonna bust down Babylon walls. Prepare every the way. Prepare every the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. Rastafari. War and crime. And do that righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. And we love Jah. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Preserve all people. Put time away. Put time away again. Listen. Yeah. So just as I and I as a watchman, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace while we penalize day or night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare every the way. Prepare every the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down war and crime. Rastafari, war and crime, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all. And we love Jah, me love Jah, me love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all. Me love Jah. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight. And then DJ Twink. Too long in our little ghetto. Run, keep going on, less process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just as I and I as a watchman around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Day or night. We gonna bust down Babylon walls. Prepare every the way. Prepare every the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down war and crime. Fight down Me say Rastafari, war and cry, and do the righteousness. And we love, and we love Jaja, and we love Jaja, and we love Jaja, we love Jaja, we love Jaja,
Rastafari, preserve all people.
Put time away again. Listen, yeah. Just as I and I as a watchman, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace, but we penalize. Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare the way, prepare the way for Rastafari. Fight down war and cry, fight down war and cry, Rastafari, war and cry, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah,
Rastafari, preserve all.
and we love Jah, me love Jah, me love Jah,
Rastafari, preserve all.
me love Jah.
Ripe, shake the grip. The Caribbean region, he says, is ripe for investment. It is all coming through. Money, oh, but still the people of Jamaica are sold for free. This morning you will be irritated. Just another little short, sharp scratch of the Prime Minister this morning, but it's important that you listen when the Prime Minister speaks. You have been sold for free. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good morning and welcome. Good morning to a government in chaos, out of their depth, incompetent, downright wicked, and thief. The Prime Minister that foreign still don't. Owner the globalist, morning, and don't let us start the problem about the like and share part of it. We're not going to start that so early, are we? We're not going to start that so early. So you're all going to do the like and share to avoid the problem. Hence, you know it could get problematic. The Prime Minister is still speaking in foreign. Boy, the Prime Minister said we've been nuclear blast with wind and water. I wonder if is there any admission of guilt coming through from the PM? Just a wandering thought. Just a wandering thought. PM. No, sir. Real sweet. Good morning and welcome, Debbie Jarvis TV. Good morning. Good morning, Suzette William, as Gold, Colleen, Violet Watson, Laverne, Annie Jones. Good morning, Joan Genius, Sile. Good morning, Lynette Jenkins, Andrea Joan Hamilton Wilson, Sheena Kelly, Winston Walford. Good morning. Who else is here? Daily Fun. Patricia Matthews. Good morning. Good morning. Norman Ferguson. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We're going to try to get the Prime Minister out of the way first. And we're asking the question this morning, Did the powers of be that blast us with Melissa and whatever else they threw at us during that time, Heather Bartlett, good morning, and whatever else was it they were throwing at us at that time, did they do a test run in St. Elizabeth in September? Delphi Campbell, good morning. Was there a test run? Should we look at the test run before the Prime Minister speaks of his, what's you call it, the grape tree ripe? The Prime Minister said, come on, you all, come down and shake it. The grape tree ripe down here, so. Could it be that a test run, this was in September, could it be that a test run was done, given that we were hit by a tidal wave, a hurricane of unprecedented move, wind speed, and everything strange about Melissa? Most of us are of the view that there is also a tornado involved in it. Some of us are of the view that an underwater missile was fired that triggered an earthquake and a tsunami. I am of the view that the Americans dropped bombs on us. We can speculate, especially when we are in the media. We can speculate. But something happened when all right. Could it be that a test run was done in St. Elizabeth in September? Given how St. Elizabeth is done up by this thing, was there a test run, Lawrence Michaels, done in St. Elizabeth just September of this year?
Guys, check this out. Man? Take off his coat up. Take off his coat up. Take off his coat up to shit. Take off his coat up. Take off, but then roll up. So I want to come carry them up there.
My video.
Could it?
Just a wondering thought. Could that have been a test run, given the confusing war zone that we ended up in after an 8-hour attack on us by the Americans and their science and technology? 8 hours, a full day shift, when storm normally just pass hour, half an hour, and go on about them business, Joan Daly. Melissa did a full day's shift over Jamaica. Haiti Reinformation Project. There is no compassion on the war which has been waged on Haiti since gain independence. Well, if Jamaica was paying attention to Haiti, they would have understand where them caught up in here now Because when the Americans cannot control Haiti for whatever reason, them use civil war, them use natural disaster, them use everything. Now, there's two reasons for what we have undergone. Wholeness prostitution, according to the Americans, where bring too much Chinese investment in them backyard. That is one of the reasons. Plus, your government have signed up to the ungodly 2030 agenda given to you in the name of Vision 2030. And whenever they're creating one of these new cities, they have to clear it with some form of natural disaster, whether it be a fire, flood, hurricane, tsunami, you name it. They decide what method they use. Abinasa Cody, how you do? They decide what method they use. But your prime minister put you out on the market. Yes, let us listen to your prime minister, Jamaica. Your prime minister who sold you for free. Listen carefully. Come in, I want the labor right. Them go walk with and say, me spread PNP propaganda. And I never saw the prime minister say, and I never saw the prime minister mean, and the prime minister put out the caption. The prime minister talking out time mouth. The Caribbean region is now ripe for investment. The best, the most, when you hear say ripe for investment, disaster zone, war zone, place not ripe for investment unless places are only ripe for investment following a catastrophe of such, whether be a conventional war, a man-made disaster. We barely know if there's we barely know these days what is of God and nature, because so much of these people are playing God. So we are confused these days as to what comes from God and nature or what comes from America and their science and technology. If they never weaponize the weather, why would they have a convention to prohibit such? If they don't have the technology, why you have a prohibition? The environmental modification prohibition, why? Convince us that America didn't use the environment to attack us. Listen to your prime minister.
And the region is now ripe for investment. But for decades, other countries benefited from the profits of investing in the region, in CARICOM. Now we are at a stage where we need to renew infrastructure. Jamaica, for example, we've been hit by a Category 5 hurricane. I don't know if you experience hurricanes here, I doubt it, but certainly terrible storms. And the only way to describe what hit Jamaica would be to say that an atomic bomb of wind and rain hit Jamaica.
Okay, so I admit it now. When Mr. Jamaica was hit by a atmospheric nuclear blast, you're admitting now, Andrew Holness. Is it? Is it that you're admitting it now? I wonder if him just tell we piece of this story.
And the region is now ripe for investment. But for decades, other countries benefited from the profits of investing in the region, in CARICOM. Now we are at a stage where we need to renew infrastructure. Jamaica, for example, we've been hit by a Category 5 hurricane. I don't know if you experience hurricanes here, I doubt it, but certainly terrible storms. And the only way to describe what hit Jamaica would be to say that an atomic bomb of wind and rain hit Jamaica. It tore every leaf off the tree, stripped it as if winter passed through the forests. It flattened 150,000 homes are impacted in some ways, 900,000 people impacted. And as I speak, there are persons who don't have any form of shelter. And intermittently, it is raining. So we've been impacted terribly by that storm. And our response is as quick as we can do it. And I want to thank our friends here in South Africa and indeed on the continent for the outpouring of support. That has been very reassuring to our people, that their brothers and sisters on the continent remembers their brothers and sisters in the diaspora. That's very important. But insofar as it has been a disaster, a crisis, it has also provided an opportunity to rebuild. And in that opportunity to rebuild, I'll put it into context, we have lost in physical property about $8.8 billion. That's about 41% of our GDP. But that doesn't take into consideration what we have to spend on relief and recovery, and what we're going to have to borrow. The economic loss in agriculture, tourism, and manufacturing. So the cost is significant. And in Jamaica, we went through a period of time when we had great economic uncertainties. And through great sacrifice, through a strong social partnership, we were able to have social compact about good fiscal management, strong, disciplined fiscal management, and we were able to move our debt to GDP ratio from 130% of GDP to, at the end of this financial year, we would have been.
Now, in the art of democracy, we would be, Andrew Holness, masters. But in the art of diplomacy, the international leaders becomes Andrew's masters. And I tell you why. It comes out in the Prime Minister's demeanor. When the Prime Minister is in front of the international community, he's quite a hush puppy. But when the Prime Minister is speaking to us, who democracy says are his masters at home, is a rant and raving and a taunt and boring behavior. Look how humble your Prime Minister is. He's so humble to the point where he looks confused.
Somewhere about 60%. So we would have cut our
Ballot!
And we moved from being the basket case to the case study of economic transformation.
From the basket case to the case study.
And then we're hit in this way, which we're going to have to borrow. The debt is going to rise, but we're going to make it count. It is going to open up a whole new vista of investment opportunity. Now, who's going to come and invest? People from all over will come, but I want to invite people from Africa to come. I want investors from South Africa to come. I want contractors and builders from South Africa to come and be a part of the growth opportunity
Money
that will exist as a result of us rebuilding 5 parishes, which would include building new hospitals, new schools, new roadways, new urban centers. All of those are opportunities that capital from Africa should really seek to find your way.
Are you listening how your Prime Minister is carving up Jamaica's rebuilding to whoever else except for any of you? Are you listening to your Prime Minister carving up and sharing you all up? Well, now listen. where Andrew Holness is in South Africa, carving and sharing you all up. You get a piece there, you get a piece there, you get a piece there. What about the piece that you are pushing us off? What piece are you offering up to them? Is it the one that you intended to push us off, Prime Minister? You get a piece here, you get a piece there. Hmm? So Jamaicans in the diaspora, Lynette, and Jamaicans at home don't have an ability to have a piece of Jamaica carved up to them, PM, with the DR title. Hmm? The Prime Minister is abroad selling you for free. Free, REE, free. The Prime Minister, they are foreign again. The Prime Minister is carving you all up. Huh? As if Jamaicans at home and in the diaspora doesn't have money. Your Prime Minister is carving you all up. I'm not sure if what is happening, but hearing two show in one, it is my system. Two of my show in one, I've been, me no know. Remember, say that new thing ya confuse me. What's my solution to bringing back investment to Jamaica? What about a consultation with Jamaicans at home and in the diaspora bareback? Hmm? What about a consultation? She has 2-page open. You must have 2-page open, Abena. What you say confusing from here, Lynn? Is it the show or is it Andrew? Yes, I'm going to restart my gadget. Andrew Holness in his new city in St. Elizabeth and in his new South Coast tourism development. The Prime Minister, or the show you say is confusing, me don't know what happened. The Prime Minister has not sought to have a consultation with the people of St. Elizabeth, where I go build in his city, or on the residential coastline of Southwest St. Elizabeth, where in a plan, yes, it's the Mars studio that changes the format. If you're watching on a phone, it creates a ratio, particularly for mobile phone. And then if you're watching like on your projector, computer, TV, or tablet, it will give you a different ratio. That ratio would be the normal one that you are used to. But it's YouTube and it's new development. It's changing its interface, and it's confusing me, the older one. But we have to try work and learn it. It's the same thing I tell people I don't like to learn the AI galang because AI make you so dunce. Oh God, in the next 10 years, we're going to have so much dunce people, so much brain dead people who are unable to think because AI is doing the thinking for everybody now. And this is my whole disagreement with AI and refusal to engage AI. From calculator and phone coming, and from predictive spelling coming from computer and phone, me notice say me turn dunce, me can't count and me can't spell. So me now have nothing more. We're going to make me duncer than when me turn right here now. Because me couldn't count one time and me couldn't spell. And from predictive spelling And calculator and this thing they come in a fashion when you knock out on your chest and your finger and your toe them. No, they're confusing something there. But our prime minister have not sought to even have a consultation with us as to the carving up and the rebuilding back of Jamaica. The prime minister is only targeting international investors. You notice that the prime minister have a particular interest in getting the tourism industry back up and running. It look like there's some priority there. The priority is about in good economy. The good economy really don't have the people involved in a hit. Let the demons finish. I just look a bit of him.
Into the Caribbean and into Jamaica to be a part of that, because we do give a solid guarantee for the safety and profitability of your investments. So
the safety and the profitability of your investment. The safety, he says, and the profitability of your investment. Money, oh, it's all about money. And that's why they're willing to kill we off, because we are in their way. The oil that is found on the Pedro Bank and on the Southwest Bank, the Walton Marant license area. The silk mine, the sand in the Black River seabed. They are willing to kill us off. That rich piece of real estate that we live on in Southwest St. Elizabeth, that stretch of coastline from Black River to Treasure Beach, they are willing to kill us off. And you have a prime minister who's not afraid to sign on the dotted line.
I thought I'd give that perspective as well as you consider investing in the region.
It's all about the money. Jamaica has been sold for free, while nobody who ought to be in charge is nowhere to be found. So all of the land where the prime minister scoop up in a Black River, I wonder who the prime minister go chop them up piece, give. I wonder how much of we in a Black River and St. Elizabeth prime minister is going to be, yes, Universal Vantage is me, Universal Vantage, Universal Media, and the Global TV Group are all a part of the Global TV Broadcasting Corporation. So yes, Universal Vantage and Universal Media, those are also a part of the Global TV Group as well. It's all about land, profit, and investment. But why doesn't it involve us? And which part of the land where them are going to invest in a come from? Or it might go share Black River, hand miggle, house spot to the investors them for build skyscraper. Black River won't be anything we recognize in its rebuilding, you know. It will be a total different. I wonder if them are going to save, them are going to rebuild back our historical Waterloo building. Because that would be a disrespect to the people of Black River and St. Elizabeth not to rebuild Waterloo. But the Prime Minister already a scoop up land. There's a land war coming in Jamaica. The only way you can go and escape it if you decide to give up your land freely. But it's coming because in a Andrew Holness and him investor them way. Andrew Holness is yet to have a consultation. Andrew Holness only come announced to it in a July. Say The people them when consult with say Jamaica is Black River is the best, St. Elizabeth is the best place to build a new city because we have all the requisite. We have the coastline. We already have a wharf in a Black River. We had a river. We have history. Let's lick it down and start all over again. It's all about foreign investors. Why don't involve we? What happened to Jamaicans in the diaspora? What happened to Jamaicans in the diaspora?
I'm Chaplain Williams. I'm from the National Land Agency. I'm the supervisor for topographic data management. Today we're here in Black River, and my team and I were mapping the entire town and its environs as well. We're doing it for recovery purposes as well as to find those government lands that can be used as a part of the recovery planning process.
For the average Jamaican, what does that mean?
Well, for the average Jamaicans, what it means is that the government, through the arm of the National Land Agency, is trying to find those lands that are within the area that was affected, that can be used to whether to house persons who are displaced or for new industries, for whatever purposes it is that the government wants, based on what the plans are going forward for Black River. Then those lands can be used for those purposes.
If Jamaicans want to get more information on the plans, future plans, based on your evaluation, how can they go about getting that information?
Okay, well, based on what needs to be done, the parish council, which would be the Black River Parish Council, they will be the ones who would lead that process, but also the government, from the perspective of the local government ministry, would also play a part, and also the ODPEM, because they're in charge of the whole recovery process as well.
Yeah. They must scoop up land for sell to them big friend them. Something that really doesn't involve us. Something where they almost just kill way off. But I want to go to Dean Jackson Miller on YouTube, because there's two Dean Jackson Miller. The one on YouTube really works. The one on TVJ have a lot of fury about a lot of things, but not enough time is being given to explore questions and all of that. But listen to
Build a
Dean
website you love
and her complaint.
with Wix. For your words,
Still not enough transparency around the hurricane relief work and what is happening with supplies. Also at this point, it don't look like the government have any intention of setting up an independent oversight committee anytime soon. I do have new information for you that we've learned. Also some comment, my opinions on that new information. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Deon Jackson Miller. Time for tea. So the Public Administrations and Appropriations Committee, that's a PAAC, that Committee of Parliament had its first meeting to look at the hurricane relief effort. And thank goodness for that, because we're just not getting enough detail coming out of the press conferences. Whole heap of PR and self-congratulation, and people are pat one another on the back, but not a lot of detail. Also, never enough time for questions, right? You always get this bag of long speeches. Everybody make these very long speeches that could be much, much tighter. And when time comes for questions, you hear say, boy, people have to go here, they have to go there, and you can only ask 2 questions or 1 question, or a bag of foolishness, right? The questions always seem like an afterthought at these press conferences. But you know something, when people appear before parliamentary committees, they have to answer questions though. So let's see what happened there. Now the PAAC met for about 6 hours, 6 whole hours. So, that's a whole heap of questions and answers, whole heap of information. So I am going to be doing a series of videos looking at the different things that came up. Some of the things I want to look at: generators, how those are being distributed. Also the lack of broad-based input into the relief management process. Also, lack of communication with members of parliament when government agencies come into communities to do work, and lots more. So lots and lots of issues. Look out for the different videos. Let's start with a question from the chair of the PAAC, Peter Bunting. He's an opposition member because the PAAC, it's an oversight committee, and it's always chaired by a member of the opposition.
There is a concern, well, there's two concerns. One, we're a low trust society, and we've, I guess, relied a lot on, in the first phase, on people who are politicians, not necessarily MPs, but politicians of ministers, junior ministers, councillors, etc. And people seem to have more faith if the distribution was being done by, say, the JDF in some systematic way. And I've heard a lot of concerns that in this particular crisis, the JDF seem to have had a much less visible role anyway. I'm not saying they may not have had a role somewhere, but in terms of seeing them out in the disaster, in the hard-hit areas, and being very visible and being in the vanguard of the immediate relief distribution, the average person just didn't see that. And I have checked with all my colleagues, especially those in the West who were hard hit, and it really took a while for them to get a good JDF presence in their communities.
All right, look here. I have huge respect for the Jamaica Defense Force, the JDF, that's our army, right? Huge respect for the engineers, their technical capability, what they can do.
Wayne Evans, that is the problem. That post in Black River, a lot of those businesses, cannot spare land never really there in a Black River much. A lot of those businesses probably thought they own those land. A lot of people live in and around the town that own some of those lands. In particular to the coastline. Now we're not there to buy. The place where they buy around a Fort Charles, Andrew Holness and Fly Green wire hit off. From Black River to Parati, a residential stretch of coastline. And then you have the whole Cheddar Beach, the whole up there. Now we're not there to buy. And Andrew Holness, I try to dislocate people to sell people's land. And with the titling system that we have in Jamaica, it will give them a lot of strength to do it if we don't unite. The investment where you hear Andrew talk about, him a push off one set to give to another set. It's not like Andrew carve up land. It's not like Andrew a carve up land where just dead sit down so now I don't know. It's not like that. Andrew restructure where people live. That's why them so silent about everything. Because when we know if them fit tell with the real story, we will rebel. Even if supporters will rebel if this real story come out and fit them out.
Huge, huge respect. But it's because we rate them so much, why me and other people couldn't understand why they weren't on the ground more during that very early stage, doing more stuff. Here's
Sharon, that's the same. When my brother called me the morning and he said to me, I think on the Thursday morning we get through to my brother. Thursday or Wednesday morning. No, Thursday morning, I think. We couldn't get through to nobody much Wednesday at all. Thursday when we get through to our brother. He said, you remember over Hebison? You can run up and down and play football over Hebison now. Hebison was cleaned off the map, Sharon. And I said to my brother straight away, and Jeholdness grab up that already. Because, Sharon, them are going to take you as part of building their wharf and bridge alongside, because them are going to shape the river now, you know. They are going to shape the river now. And you see on the left hand there, Sharon, after you pass Swaby, going up on the left, I feel say them probably are going to dump up over there, so for extend the town. I would advise them that in extending of the town to leave people, because that piece of land on the left hand side coming out of Black River going over the bridge, they can dump up that piece of marshland there. They can dump up that piece of marshland on the left coming out of Black River going towards Parity and the south, and extend their city, because that would take them all the way up to Crane Road and all of that. It would be a huge plot of land. There are some people that they would push off in that adventure. But that would be a more feasible suggestion to the government in order not to disturb people. But their problem, that real estate is that piece of strip of sand that we live on. That's the prime real estate that is a bother. That's why we were blasted in such a devastating way, where we're building them broke up, bury in a sand, or draw back in the sea. Let me down. Yeah, over Old Airport. Over which Old Airport? Somebody in a Mandeville, wanna try work with we and see if we can get no information through, you know, and tell we if the Americans assemble themselves at Vernon Field, and if no rebuilding and structuring a guan of Vernon Field, because possibly US would want to establish a base in Jamaica now going forward, given their hiccup with Chinese investment and Chinese control in the region. So if anybody know of anything going on at Vernon Field, that old US air base in Manchester there, now they call it an airstrip or whatever, but let us know, because we say we lose control of our country, and we have to be with eye and with ears, because we government them a lie to it. Let's finish listening to Dion.
What the Director General of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM Commander Alvin Gale, said. He's an army man.
Once the blow had ended, JF teams would have been deployed to get into spaces. I recall that we took almost 48 hours to be able to get into the Black River space, just based purely on the devastation which was around. So it wasn't for want of not being out there on the ground and trying to get into spaces, but just the general conditions on the ground that prevented us from being immediately in all those devastated spaces. Once we were to get into certain locations, they would have started setting up.
Sharon, I wouldn't support an airport at Fonthill like the Prime Minister was planning airport at Negril as well. I don't support another airport in Western Jamaica. I think we need an airport in Central Jamaica, rather be Clarendon or Manchester, because we have a airport in Western Jamaica already. We don't need another airport in that region of Western Jamaica. I think develop Central Jamaica in that way would have make more sense. Why we need to pass two airport, we need two airport on that side. Just like when the Prime Minister they talk about airport in Negril, I totally disagree with that. If we need another airport, I think Manchester or Clarendon. Vernon Field, isn't Vernon Field in Manchester? Well, one of them places, if it's not Manchester, it would be Clarendon. But we know Vernon Field was more in the central region of Jamaica. But we really don't need another airport on the western Jamaica belt. I think we need to more bring air hub to central Jamaica. Oh, it's a Vernon Field is in Clarendon. Okay. Well, that is where I which one of my moderator this year, but that's what I'm telling you, so they handle them Sivan as our Selvan. I don't even know which one of my moderator this year because Vernon Field is in Clarendon. Okay. Well, a new airport I would support in central Jamaica, rather be Clarendon or West or Manchester. But no crowd up the ear so over central Jamaica, over western Jamaica. We already have an airport, a Mobile already. So if anything, we come central. We have one at Kingston, we have one at St. Mary on the east. So if anything, central would make more sense. Central would make more sense. So let's finish. Listen to the dance, yeah. Boy, the man, yeah. What is this guy being set up? Is he being set up as the foul guy? So when it all falls pear-shaped, then Alvin is being blamed. Alvin Gale is being blamed for the blunders and the stealing and all of that where Andrew Holness and Darrell Vaz and Desmond McKenzie and all that is going to do. Because not that he's just incompetent or the Jamaican expression, dunce. The poor guy was thrown into the deep end. And in such a chaotic situation, anyone would have been out of their depth. I still don't know if he understands the organizational role in the capacity he's been placed into, being drawn in front of Parliament on research without any notes, just plucking thin feathers out of his arm. Poor thing. Poor little thing.
As I've done out in Luan and other spaces now, or centralized JDF hubs or a forward operating basis so we can reach into the communities. So that would have accounted for some delay in getting on the ground.
Boy, Commander Gale, respect you, boss, but I don't buy that answer. I maintain that there was not enough urgency in the early response, especially in the eastern Westmoreland area, which, if you remember, is where the hurricane made landfall, and that lack of urgency includes the JDF.
And secondly, there is a concern that this is a concern around accountability, that there's hundreds of millions of dollars that have come in the first few weeks, probably. I don't know. I'm not getting a day-to-day tracking of it, but it's probably no billions in terms of relief given by private sector, given by various relief agencies and global NGOs and other governments and so on. But where is the system to track all this and to bring some, not just dignity, but some order to how, and accountability to how this is being done?
I've been saying this. There just isn't enough transparency around how the relief effort is going on and how the relief supplies are being used, right? At the press conferences, we do get some information, but we tend to get these very big ballpark figures without a whole lot of detail.
As it pertains to the matters concerning accountability, you are indeed correct. The Auditor General Department has commenced their real-time audit. Our first engagement with them from the department will be tomorrow. So those systems are in place. We have already submitted the relevant documentation, made the different meetings with them already to start that process. As it pertains to inventory management. There's an ongoing process now for disaster relief inventory management system. Last evening, we would have seen the first iteration of the product. This would encapsulate the entirety of the national stores across various ministries as it relates to disaster relief aid items coming in. The system will be full-fledged from receipt in our large stores until the last mile is how the system is designed. Once we should be able to roll that out onto our servers. The intent is before the end of the week. The team is feverishly working at that. At some point when the system is matured,
this is a system, a bespoke system that you're developing.
A bespoke system for GOJ towards disaster relief inventory management.
Bespoke means it's being custom designed just for us. And once you hear something it's being custom designed, you know that means it's going to take a little bit more time to get it up and running.
Jamaica, in relations to the appropriations account, the trillions unaccounted for, how much time on a year me say to the government, it is time.
So there are none of these systems.
It is time that Jamaica design bespoke system for our public sector. We cannot have the hardcover book them and the invoice and receipt book them operating in government in 2025. Melissa should make we talk about bespoke system as public sector. Public sector have a group of people which is called a think tank. Think tank are people who think out of the ordinary. They think up ideas and suggest to the government. Where are they? Do you have them? Or if you were listening to me in particular, you would have all seen the necessity of exploring the idea of having such systems in place. In the middle of Melissa, while we just had burial the other day, who should even have taught us if we had a brain, may I add? But then, do they have a brain? They are the only one who can answer the question.
Systems, the United Nations or no other country have these systems that we
There are a few systems that do exist, Chairman. One of the things you might find is that based on how Jamaica is set up and how our mechanism is run, they have to plug in other models. There has to be some redevelopment of systems. So whilst they might have a general way.
It's not based on how Jamaica is set up, sir. It's based on how Jamaica has lagged behind in infrastructure, technology, and all of that after over 50 years of having a University of Science and Technology and not even a bespoke system. We're still writing a hardcover book. We're still writing a hardcover book, sir. That's the problem. And it's difficult, we set up difficult. Everywhere set up same way, land, sea, wood, and water. Where else there anywhere else, sir? Sir, what else is the other people them would do it? What else is they use do it further than just like what we would use? And I always come up with some silly excuse that really rub me backwards up the wall.
Your housing system, how it is designed for us to be most efficient, it is not set up in that way. And then you particularly also run the risk of, in the times when they pull out, maybe in a few months after when you want the iterations to be redeveloped and so on, you will tend to lose that support. There is significant homegrown talent, and we, having done it that way, we are assured of a full-fledged system with the necessary support going into.
There are significant homegrown talent. Why did the government refuse to use them before now, Mr. Sir? Stupid man, idiot. Why did you not suggest to the government that you have their ears, that these are things that we can do? What was your role during burial, you fool? As an army person, as a logistic person, as a place there for the logistic operations of ADPEM. You stupid man. Poor thing. Brainless. And normally we're told in Jamaica, when your head is big, you're bright. It is not coming true for you, mister.
Many years hence. There's also an intent to, once the system reaches a particular level of maturity, to have a front-facing system to the public into that mechanism. So there with that level of visibility from the public during the disaster itself. So we're looking to roll out that mechanism very soon, Chairman.
So, but that's the inventory system.
Inventory system. So when it comes to the management of cash,
there's the inventory, there's the goods, the supplies that are donated in
that
kind,
will also go
right?
into the inventory system.
There's the donations in cash.
Donations in cash.
And then there's the distribution to beneficiaries. So it's three different elements. You've described one system you're developing for inventory.
So minus the cash, the system will also enable us to query where as I indicated.
Honestly, I am confused by this government because literally I couldn't believe in modern day, as somebody who have done a short time in the public sector at the Department of Work and Pension and the Office of National Statistics, and somebody who spent quite some time in the private sector and different organizations, I could not believe that an entire government is operating without a software system catered to the Jamaican government. Boy, Melissa expose we. Because when media talk then something, people never know say it goes off it too. See them, Melissa asks them to do it.
The last mile of the distribution.
So it tracks
from
it to the
intake
beneficiary.
right to the last mile.
When you say the last mile, do you mean to the beneficiary?
Into the community.
So you will be able to identify the
we
community that it ends up in, but not the household or the individual.
Future iterations of the software would be able to, as the system it gets mature, to be able to do things like that. But that requires other parts of government to work to enable that to be inputted into the system. But it will be a rolling development of the software to add as many modules as we wanted. Hence why we wanted to be able to have that system so bespoke that these considerations in future, near or far, could be added into the system. As it concerns the management of cash, there is a fund committee that oversees all the donations coming in for cash. As it is now, the relevant assessments that will be made in terms of required cash drawdowns, and that will have to be approved in every instance through the Ministry of Finance. So nothing is able to come out of those funds solely because the ADPEM desires for a spend to occur. So there are the financial records which exist.
So the fund committee is a Ministry of Finance committee?
It's headed by the finance committee. It is a committee of
government,
of council, yes. So there is that mechanism.
And these funds are both government funds and donated funds.
These are donated funds that I'm speaking of, which are then transferred to the NDF in the event that we need, and it is spent from that mechanism. As it concerns the matters of the funds from insurance and so on, those do not fall under the purview of the ADPEM. So we have no marginal oversight over it. Notwithstanding, it is then that the fund committee, I guess, if required, could lean on those funds.
So this fund committee that's distributing money from private sector, from aid agencies, there's no representative of the aid agencies or the private sector or anybody like that on this committee?
Not at the moment.
By now, I think we can all come to the conclusion that them have no intention of setting up no independent oversight committee anytime soon. Why am I saying that? Because them would have do it already. What is happening here is that government is operating as government always does and according to their usual culture of secrecy, and they are basically ignoring all the calls for broad inclusivity and transparency. Look, man, I just don't believe that detailed information couldn't be made available to the public on a preliminary basis. Lots of information, lots of money, lots of aid. Why aren't we getting that information? All of that could be pushed out while they're continuing to work on whatever fancy system it is they're doing.
Ask yourself this question. In such a fast-moving pace where hundreds of planes are bringing in tons of resources, how can you account for such pen and paper though? How can you account for such pen and paper? You see the loose cannonism we are going in the whole system? Do you understand the loose cannonism where anybody can take up and stash off? Anybody, look here, I hope them soon open up store, you know. Jamaica keep on an eye out, you know. Because I hope them I hope a store soon pluck up road, you know, and sell all sort of accoutrements. You stay there. Don't keep on your eye open and look out. Tell we back for quint we have and say look around corner there, so look where going around corner there.
Coming to press briefings and just giving us these big numbers without detail, that is not transparency, that does not help with accountability. So as I said, whole heap more came out of the PAAC. Look out for my series of videos on what came out and all the different issues I know y'all are interested in, all right? I'm gonna leave it there, all right? Comment below, like the video, share it with somebody who might be interested.
Lots of people are discontent with this government handling of the relief effort. Quite so the foreign investors as well irritate you all for a little bit. Quite so the foreign governments and NGOs as well. Hence is why I've been tipped off with information from in the camp that the international community and the private sector has asked Andrew Holness to step aside. They have lost confidence in his handling of the tons of resource relief and millions of dollars coming into the country. A problem, though, is brewing in the Jamaica Labour Party as the Prime Minister wants his wife to succeed him. The Labour Party is not having it. How long will they take to come in public with the brouhaha? But it is bubbling in there, my people. Remember, this is a prime minister who has enriched himself out of COVID. This is a prime minister who is under investigation for illicit enrichment. A prime minister in front of the court for election irregularities. The international community is watching. A plethora of international vloggers are watching as well. Everybody have their eye on Andrew Holness because they know here comes the great big steal. Now it's coming closer to now, isn't it? Why Andrew Holness government was so cabinet was so inflated? You're understanding now why the Prime Minister cabinet became so inflated, because the Prime Minister, people who put money they fi make. So you have a position. You have to position yourself and your people them. You see how much senators, and MP are use the aid and the devastation and disaster to create a political name for themselves? Are you watching, Jamaica? Are you watching how senators and MPs are using international aid to make a name for themselves? You see, all of these people thrive on what is called the human story. They're no much better than junk. They pick on your flesh, but in a subtle way. I mean, like the junk literally picks on your flesh. They, though, picks on your reverse empathy. That's what they pick on. So some of them are not much different from junk. Not means that they don't literally pick flesh. Them not junk. But when these politicians use the international aid to create a political name for themselves in a hope to get a political seat and have political knowings across the country, then it's no different to a junker, isn't it? No, sir. Boy, we have human junker factory amongst us. We, the people of Jamaica, have human junker factories. I mean, we can start, but then again, haven't I asked the labor rights to go down and send to go help with the cleanup? Floyd Green, the people of Southwest St. Elizabeth, Floyd Green have sacrificed you and have left you behind because the minister is either his government portfolio or his constituency portfolio. Can the minister, in such a devastating time when he could barely manage in normal time, can he swung himself between both? I mean, with that 10 million Jamaican dollars, with an entire coastline battered and broken by a man-made tidal wave and all what other else they drop on us. I mean, you're in practice, Floyd Green, because you're not getting the resources to help an entire constituency flattened by your prime minister. Your prime minister don't even, you can't even get any attention to carry him come around a party and all that for going to look on the disaster and the crime that Andrew Holness and Donald Trump and Guterres at the United Nations committed against us on the 29th of October. We will never forget that day. America, we, the people of Jamaica, we, the people of Western Jamaica, America, will never forget the day when you attacked us. We have watched you, America, march around the world and dropping missiles and country after country. We have had that experience on the 29th of October 2025. That day, America, that day we will never forget. That land and oil, America, we will never forget that.
Jamaica, come close and listen to me very carefully. This is not politics. This is survival. This is about the future of our island, Jamaica. I am going to break down exactly what the Prime Minister just said at the G20 summit in South Africa. Yes, that's where he's at, Jamaica, in South Africa. Because what he presented there in South Africa was not leadership, Jamaica. It was submission. And I am going to break it down without no illusions. The Prime Minister stood in front of the G20, the 20 most powerful nations on earth, Jamaica. The same ones controlling the global banking system, the same ones shaping climate policy, the same ones holding the world's debt. And the Prime Minister opened his statement by saying, Jamaica is a success story. We sacrificed. We followed the rules. We maintained discipline. We stabilized our debt. And we reformed our economy. Jamaica, did you hear what I just said? He walked into the room like a student reporting to the headmaster. He did not walk in as a sovereign leader. He walked in as someone proving. He said, we obeyed, we complied. Now please treat us good. But he did not stop there. He used Hurricane Melissa like a tool. He said Hurricane Melissa devastated Jamaica and disrupted our development, destroyed our progress. And so now, Melissa will negatively affect our debt trajectory. So Hurricane Melissa became the reason, the excuse, and the justification. Melissa is now the currency they will use to tighten the climate agenda. But hold on, Jamaica did not just magically appear in a hurricane belt in 2025. We have always been in a hurricane belt. Storms are not new, disaster is not new. But Jamaica, the timing is what's strange. The way Hurricane Melissa moved is what's strange. The fact that the PM used Melissa as the spearhead at the G20 speech is what's strange. Because instead of talking about things like evacuation failures, delayed response, no preparedness system, no food security plans, no national shelter upgrades, he used Melissa to sell Jamaica as a victim. Not to defend us, but to justify new climate financing. And that Jamaica comes with new rules. Now, what did the PM actually ask the G20? Listen, Jamaica, because this is where it gets dangerous. He asks for IMF climate financing, resilience loans, blended finance structure, thematic bonds, risk insurance models, new global frameworks, loss and damage rules. Do you understand what that means, Jamaica? It means more debt wrapped up in a climate language. It means more foreign oversight wrapped up in resilient talk. It means more global rules controlling our policies wrapped up in support for vulnerable nations. He did not ask for sovereignty. He did not ask for reparations. He did not ask for true independence, Jamaica. He asked for money with strings attached. He asked for a system that tracks us. He asked for climate-based agreements that turns Jamaica into a case study, a laboratory. And here is the part he thinks we will not notice. The PM said at the G20, we must preserve the IMF resilience and sustainability trust. Do you know what that is, Jamaica? It is a climate loan system that comes with the following: conditions, reforms, monitoring and data control, and of course, oversight of national decisions. It is not free money, Jamaica. It is not reparations, Jamaica. It is not justice. It is climate debt. And it is disguised as help. It is a leash, Jamaica. It is a collar. And small islands are being lined up one by one to wear it. So here is what the PM did not say at the G20. He did not mention oil drilling off the coast of Jamaica. He did not mention seabed extraction. He did not mention mining deals. He did not mention foreign companies controlling our natural resources. He did not mention the Thunderball oil block. He did not mention the fault lines or the methane risk. He did not mention the environmental danger. Nor did he mention the people still suffering with no lights, no water, and no food after Melissa. He did not mention the communities that are abandoned, the evacuation failures, the destruction Jamaica that was predictable. He did not mention the reason Jamaica remains vulnerable, foreign contracts, and a government that does not build local resilience. He did.
What your Prime Minister went on to tell the G20 summit in Corinne Manning, you're up on a different channel this morning. Welcome. What the Prime Minister failed, went on rather, to tell the people at the G20 summit, rather G19, as the petulant child of a Donald Trump refused, because he's losing control and losing the war he started, economic warfare. The Caribbean region is ripe for investment. You know, so when a mango tree ripe, you can shake it. Any tree ripe, time for shake it. The region is ripe for investment. That's what our Prime Minister told them. Come on, we will carve it up and give you piece by piece. Jamaicans, we are being sold for free back into slavery.
Did not speak with the fire of a leader defending the land. He spoke with the tone of a man selling Jamaica as a
free
climate vulnerable investment opportunity. Did you hear me, Jamaica? He sold us as a climate vulnerable investment opportunity. You see the real meaning of that G20 speech, Jamaica. I'm a wanting to hear me loud. Your Prime Minister just positioned Jamaica as the model student of the IMF, a compliant partner to the global powers, a climate vulnerable asset ready for investment, a country willing to adopt global rules, a nation seeking more climate debt, a small island waiting on big brothers to rescue us. This is not sovereignty. This is not independence. And Jamaica, this is not.
When we say on us, Jamaica, Andrew Holness sold us for free. Now you understand what we mean? When we say Andrew Holness went to the G20 and sold us for free, Andrew Holness stand up there and carve way up to them and say, peace for you, peace for you, peace for you, without any consultation with the Jamaica people as to how we rebuild. But Dick get peace, Tom get peace, Harry get peace, Linda get peace, Gwen get peace, and everybody get a peace but the people of Jamaica.
Leadership. This is submission disguised as diplomacy. Ask yourself, why is Jamaica aligned so fast with global climate finances right after Melissa? Right after rising oil exploration activity? Right after mining expansion? Right after seabed surveying? Right after foreign companies circling our waters? Right after the constant traveling of our Prime Minister to these climate finance and investment summits? And now Jamaica, the G20. Something Jamaica has never been invited to before. Why now? Why the timing? Why the alignment? Because Jamaica is being lined up to be the prototype. Yes, the prototype nation for climate financing experiments, resilience loan models, new climate triggered debt instruments, and global climate governance. Jamaica, wake up. This is bigger than politics. This is bigger than one party. This is about the future of the land beneath our feet. Jamaica is being treated like a climate lab, a financial test site, a resource zone, a vulnerability case study, and soon an energy hub without the Jamaican people owning a single drop. If we don't wake up now, Jamaica, if you don't start questioning now, if you don't start paying attention to the pattern, you will wake up and realize finally that Jamaica was sold, not lost, signed away, not stolen, and given up, not taken. Hurricane Melissa did not make us vulnerable. Corruption, obedience, foreign contract, and silence did. And now vulnerability is used to sign Jamaica into deeper systems that only benefit the global powers. Jamaica, wake up now.
I don't know what else to tell you. Because if you decide to lay down and see it's all falling apart around you, the Prime Minister tell the G20, the Caribbean region is ripe for investment. Come along. There's space for all of you. We'll give you a piece of real estate and you can put a skyscraper on it. Offices and apartments and all that jazz. But what about the people of Parity, Black River, Newtown, Jungle, Lagwood, Fellerswood? What about those people? Thank you very much for being here this morning. As you know, we finish with Marcus Garvey, unite or perish. Don't have any other choice right now because they're closing in on us. And when they're closing in on you in war, your choices becomes limited. Isn't it? Isn't it? Unite or perish. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV.
Too long in our little ghetto, run keep going on, let's process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just as I and I as a watching man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Day or night, we gonna bust down Babylon walls. Prepare and read the way. Prepare and read the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down, war and cry. Fight down, me say Rastafari. War and cry and do that righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah,
Rastafari, serve all people.
and we love Jah, we love Jah,
Rastafari,
we love Jah,
Rastafari, preserve all people.
Put time away again. Listen, yeah. So just as I and I as a watching man, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I and I should never hold thy peace while we penalize. Day or night, we gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare and read the way. Prepare and read the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down, war and cry.
Fight down, war and cry.
Rastafari, war and cry, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah,
Rastafari, preserve
Jah 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 Rastafari. Me love Jah Jah.
Jah Rastafari.
Me love Jah Jah.
Jah Rastafari. Preserve all.
Me love Jah Jah.
Jah Rastafari.
Jah Rastafari. Jah
Rastafari.
Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.